Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see here, this is not actually Nepal. I'm currently in Pai, Thailand. That's in northern Thailand. This is where I'm going to be for the next few weeks doing videos, but I just wanted to take time in this video to tell you guys the 10 things that I wish that I knew before I came to Nepal that would have made my travels and my life so much easier then. So let's get right into it. My first tip for you guys is to spend time in Kathmandu exploring and walking around the amazing city. I see so many travelers and I met so many people that would just go to Kathmandu for a day or two and then get kind of overwhelmed by how busy it was, and then they would just go off to Pokhara and go do a trek. But there's so many beautiful things to do and such a vibrant and alive culture in the city that you would be remiss not to spend at least 5 days there going to different places like the Monkey Temple, to Bodhanath Stupa, to Pashtupanath, and just really exploring and immersing yourself in the local culture, meeting the wonderful people that live in Kathmandu, and just really like seeing how a city like that really works. It has such an amazing history, so do some research, read up on the city. I've actually vlogged most of the places that I really recommend going to in Kathmandu, and I've written a blog about it, so the links to those will be down in the description below. I also have a playlist of me exploring Kathmandu and going to those places that I think that you do not want to miss. Number 2, bartering is an essential part of the culture there, but please, please, please don't be mean or aggressive when you're bartering, because I know I've seen so many people that when you're there you don't want to feel like you're getting taken advantage of, and bartering is a skill that not a lot of people are used to, so don't get frustrated, don't feel like you're getting ripped off, and don't be mean or aggressive to these people that are trying to sell you something, because a lot of the time I see people getting in fights over 20 or 30 cents. If you feel like it's not a good price, just say sorry, no thanks, and go to the next place. Just keep it civil, keep it safe, and just just really appreciate that this is how they work in their culture. Number 3, bring passport-sized photos with you when you come to Nepal. You're going to need them for all sorts of things. You're going to need some if you want to get a SIM card, which we'll be talking about next. You're going to need some if you're going to go trekking. I would say bring at least 6 passport-sized photos with you. You can get them while you're there, but if you're just planning on spending a couple days before you're trekking or going to do something else, get them in advance, because it can be a hassle to find a place that can take nice passport-sized photos for you. Fourth thing that I wish I had known is that there's 3, but there's 2 SIM cards that you should be on the lookout for when you're in Nepal. One is from a company called Ncell, and one is from Nepal Telecom. Now, Ncell is by far the most popular one, and you're going to get great coverage around the country, but if you were trekking like I did, then you're not going to have any signal. Whereas Nepal Telecom, it's not so good around the country, but it actually has cell signal up in the mountains, so you can send messages and kind of do the basics of online communication with people. You are going to need 2 passport photos, and you're going to need your passport when you go and get that SIM card. They're both pretty inexpensive. I think they're like $12 to $15 for a month with 20 gigs of data. Okay, the 5th thing that I wish that I knew is that taxis can be really expensive in Nepal, but that is why you should download a Driveshare app. The one that I was using and the one that's really popular in Nepal is called InDrive. You can use it just like Grab or Uber to take taxis, take motorbike taxis, and to get food delivered. So this one's fantastic. You can get way better prices for everything. It's also on a bartering system, so you put in how much you want to pay to get somewhere, and people will send in offers to you. The motorbike taxis are usually 1/3 of the price or cheaper, so it's really nice for getting around town if you're not afraid of sitting on the back of some guy's bike as you're driving through the craziness that it can be Kathmandu. Number 6 is that you should just eat at local food places, because there's a lot of restaurants that seem very, very almost run down and small, but those are the places where you're going to meet the most amazing people and have the best food. So if you ever see a little hole in the wall with a little sign in Nepali, make sure to just go in, look at the menu, see what it is. The price is probably 1/8 to 1/10 of what you would be paying at a more touristic place. The price really inflates when you go from a local to a touristy place, especially if you're in or around Tamil, and the food is fantastic. The local Nepali food, the local Newari food, it's a lot of rice, a lot of spices, a lot of pickled vegetables, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I met some of the best people when I was in Nepal at these little tiny hole-in-the-wall places. People will just come up to you and be so interested as to why you're traveling there, and they'll strike up a conversation. Number 7 on this list is that there are so many treks to choose from. So don't always just come thinking that you have to do either the Annapurna Base Camp, the Annapurna Circuit, or the Everest Base Camp trek. There are so many different options depending on your skill level and how long you want to spend out there. For example, there's the Langtang trek, the Mardi Himal trek, the Poon Hill trek. I wish that I had taken a little bit more time, maybe to plan 2 or 3 different treks that I could have done in the same amount of time, because it's nice to be able to go to different areas because the village life and the culture is so different depending on where you go. So the thing that I wish that I had known is that you don't have to choose one. Wait until you're there. Ask around to see which hike is the best for what time of year that you're going to be there, and you know, make some friends, meet some people, and go do a couple of different treks. The next tip is that you do not need a guide for trekking. There are going to be so many people that are going to be telling you that you need a guide, offering you guide services, offering you a porter, but the trails are all very well marked. The places are very well traveled. You're always going to see more trekkers. It's very safe. I actually wrote a guidebook on doing the Annapurna circuit trek by yourself with no guide, and it goes over how to read the trail, how to order food, how to interact with people, a detailed itinerary. But really, you can find that information everywhere. My guide's only $5, but you can find that information everywhere online. There's lots of different blogs you can pull from to find different itineraries and different tips and tricks while you're trekking, but you absolutely do not need a guide to have a really beautiful and amazing experience out there hiking in the Himalayas in Nepal. Next up, after you've finished your trek, I would recommend planning to go to Pokhara, which is an amazing, beautiful lakeside town. It's right on the shore of Lake Phewa, and it is very, very, very much more relaxed than Kathmandu. There's places to get massages, there's really fantastic food, which is much needed after the set menus that you'll have when you're trekking. The climate is a little bit warmer, and it's less polluted than Kathmandu, so it's a fantastic place to come and unwind after you've had a long trek. There's lots of local bakeries that serve amazing baked goods and pastries, and yeah, it's just a nice place to rent a boat, go out on the lake, chill out, and just recuperate from that long trek that you've just done. Next up is don't be afraid to take longer on your trek than your itinerary says. There's been so many times where I've been passing through a beautiful village and I think to myself, man, I wish I could stay here, but my itinerary is telling me to go one village further. You know, just listen to your instinct, and if you have the time, stay at that little village and stay at that place that you find really beautiful and relaxing, because, you know, the time really flies by, you know, especially in the later times. You're gonna wish, like, man, I wish I had spent 2 more days down there in the jungle with these amazing people in this village. And that's something that you absolutely can do. You don't have to trek every day. You don't have to trek a long time every day. Just go at your own pace and really just like feel out the village that you're in, and have an experience there, and be able to not be moving fast enough that you can't just soak it in. Last up on this list is do not be afraid to ask local people for help. There are so many amazing, amazing people in Nepal, and I never met someone who wasn't eager or willing and just really excited to give me a helping hand, whether that I be lost on the trekking trail if I had taken the wrong turn, or if I was in Kathmandu looking for a place to eat or somewhere to see. There's always so many people that are just so hospitable and welcoming. You know, just don't be afraid to ask someone for help. I don't think that I've ever met a more welcoming group of people in any country that I've traveled to. The Nepali people are just so absolutely wonderful and kind and sweet, and they're going to make sure that you have an amazing time when you're visiting. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you found it useful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I reached 1,000 subscribers in Nepal, and I am so grateful for all of you that have been with me this whole time. I'd also like to thank everyone that's bought my guidebook. It means so much to me, and it's really so incredible that you guys are supporting me to continue doing this kind of traveling. So thanks guys so much again, and I'll see you guys in Thailand, which is here, for the next one.